spine flexion pails and rails with a strap. So I've got a stretch strap here. Stretch straps are pretty cool. I've got a handle at either end, and it's got loops all the way along, so you can change sort of the length or the usable length of it. So I'm just going to pop my foot through these loops here, and I mean, you can use anything here. You can use a rope, a yoga strap, like a whatever, as long as it's obviously something solid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my foot through these loops, and then I'm going to put my arms through the handles. This way I can just bend my elbows here, and then I've got good, nice, good tension here. I don't have to be relying on my grip strength and things like that. Now, the reason I like this position is what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting into a flexion stretch, or a stretch through our spine through flexion. And we've got a lot of different degrees of movement you can do here to find the right spot of your spine if you need to, or also just make it, you know, something that you feel safe and comfortable doing. Because I can just put the straps out here, and now I'm way further up. So if you don't have the same ability to flex down as me, you've got, you know, you can just hold this thing at your end down there, or, you know, you can use something a bit longer. But either way, what we're going to do is get this around my elbows, and I'm going to get into as much flexion as I can. So to start with, I'm going to tilt my hips underneath actively. So I'm going to tilt my hips under, and then I'm literally just going to, as you can see, I'm sort of just pulling my body back here, and then pushing down with my feet, and then I'm now into a big stretch through flexion. So now I'm holding this stretch. So for your pails and rails, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be holding the stretch for 2 minutes. Once the 2 minutes is up, you're going to do a pails contraction and then a rails contraction. So pails contraction is, imagine if my straps weren't here, I would be trying to straighten up, but the straps are here, so it'll be an isometric contraction. So I'm now pulling against, using that spine stuff, the stuff I feel on stretch, to pull against. And then rails is trying to actively pull into a little bit of a bigger flexion. Now, before we get into that, what I do want to talk about is your program may say that, you know, just get into spine flexion, and that's just kind of a general all of your spine. But the cool thing about this strap is, or this setup, not necessarily just the strap, is that you've got lots of little degrees of motion. So I can kind of keep my upper back straight a little bit more, tilt under, and now I'm going to get way more focuses on my lumbar spine. I can keep that kind of straight and then let my upper go, and now I'm going to get more in my thoracic. You can also adjust that. If I put my feet out, it gets a little bit lower in the lumbar area as well. So you can just play around with this and adjust a little bit. Just play around with the different positions that you get in, and sort of see if you can find it in the right spot for you. But anyway, so what we're going to do for the pails and rails, get in here, get into the stretch. So you're kind of pulling back into a stretch for 2 minutes, and then you are going to do a pails contraction. So now I'm trying to straighten up. You're going to gradually ramp up. If you've got a 50% or 100%, it doesn't matter. You're going to be gradually ramping up. So 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, up to the intensity that you're doing it at. Do it for as long as obviously the program says. And then when you do the rails, you're actively trying to pull a little bit further. So you're trying to rotate more down. You're also trying to rotate the hips more up into a bigger. And then once that rep's done, chill, relax, and you're done. Whew. And that there is your pails and rails. Yeah, if you've got any questions, let me know.